Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna be reviewing a book that I've been reading. It's actually a series of books. The first one I'm gonna be talking mostly about the first one today, although I'll mention a little bit about the sequels as well. Cast Under an Alien Sun. It's by Olan Thorensen. I've been really impressed by this book and I wanted to do a review. It's kind of like a science fiction book, although not like really, like, there's not so much science fiction in it. I mean, there is science fiction in it, but it's not like super involved science fiction book. Basically, the premise of the book is a guy named Joseph Kolsko, like a chemist or chemistry student even, postgraduate student, gets transported to an alien world. That alien world is inhabited by humans actually, but their civilizations like kind of at the level of the 17th century, and he is transported there by aliens. So it kind of sounds dumb when I explain it, but like the rationale and the explanation in the actual book, the beginning of the book, is pretty cool and like pretty interesting, and you get like a lot of exposition when it comes to that, which is a lot of the explanations and the alien race, and I'm not gonna talk about that too much because it's pretty cool to discover on your own. So I'm gonna let you guys discover it yourselves. He gets transported to this world. He has to like live there now. He can't come back to Earth. There are humans living there, and there's like animals from Earth, but not every animal from Earth. Some animals from Earth are transported to this world. Some animals were like the original native flora and fauna of the world over there. But yeah, that's not super important. This is the planet. It's called Anyar, and it has, like, as you say, like a few continents. There's like this great Narthon Empire, which is gonna be like a very important part of the story, and a few other continents that we don't know much about. But the place where the whole story develops is this Sedellum. I think Sedellum. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like on the left of the map. You can see like a very small island. I'm guessing it might be kind of like the size of Britain, maybe a little bit larger than Britain. I don't know, this planet is larger than Earth, so I'm not sure. This is the map, and this is where the whole story is going to take place. So basically, like a very small part of that planet, and it's like that's basically the introduction. And what's interesting about this, what's interesting about this story is like the main character literally like placed there on a beach, and he has to adjust to the native life and culture and everything that's going on, which is not that foreign. So like it's kind of equivalent to, like, maybe, as I said, 17th century Europe or England, or like some parts, like, I guess it does have like some parts that might be influenced by like Scottish or Irish or something like that, because they have clans and stuff like that. So that's kind of, you have like leaders of clans in this island, and there's like multiple clans and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty cool. The book deals with his efforts to improve the local technology. So he always thinks, so like a big part of the book is his thoughts. Oh, what information should I give them? How much information is it safe to give them? If he gives them too much information, he might be called like a wizard, or he might be called a demon. He might be like killed, who knows. So he is like scared for his own safety, but he also like thinks about the safety of the society if he gives some information to the local society, which might not actually be safe. It might cause some trouble. It might cause social instability. Who knows what might happen. So like a lot of it is like, once he is settled on this island, in this like small town in this island, a lot of the ideas are here. He thinks about how much information should I give them, which information is safe to give, which is not. Basically, I think the author is a scientist or retired biologist, I think. So these parts are very kind of informative, but they're not like dry. They're not you don't feel like you're in a lecture. You feel like you want to know more about it. I think that's the most interesting part of especially book one. Book two and subsequent books do have like some other stuff that they focus on, but book one is like, if you're into this type of stuff, like recreating technology, how some stuff that we actually never actually think about, how it might be made, especially if you travel to the past, or in this case it's not in the past but on a different planet. All of that stuff is like the basically what draws you into this book. So I really enjoyed all of that, and that's like a big part of why I got so interested in this book. Another thing about this book, like a little bit of like negatives, is it is pretty slow paced. So don't expect too much action. Don't expect too much like drama, especially in the first book. Like a lot of it is like learning about local culture, learning about stuff, setting up some technology, stuff like that. It's a lot of it reminds me of like if you guys ever read Mark Twain, Yankee in the Court of King Arthur. That's like that type of thing happens a lot here, although it's quite a different book. Another negative side, and I've read some reviews, a lot of people complained about this. I wasn't too bothered by this, but especially at the beginning of the book, there's a large info dump, so you get too much information about the political situation in the continent and the islands, and like turmoil and stuff like that. You get so much information about that, which, yeah, and I've read some reviews, they said it's not necessary, and probably it's not really necessary. So if you are averse to that, you might even probably skip some of those and not lose too much of the not lose too much of the enjoyment of the book. But yeah, I don't like to skip, so I haven't skipped it. So yeah, those Narthani is like the empire that wants to conquer this island. Those chapters were a little bit uninteresting, but not too bad for me. Some people hated them. And another criticism of the book is like some of the dialogue, even in the later books, feels a little bit unnatural or forced, or how people speak to each other, especially like a few of the times some conversations between husbands and wives were like, why are they speaking so formally to each other? Might be like the way that Islanders speak there, or might be a little bit of a clumsy writing. So but it wasn't too bad. It wasn't like so bad to ruin my enjoyment. And another criticism I have of it is that the main character seems like he's always right. He always, like, all of his plans work. Everything he does, like almost everything he does do something or make some plans that don't pan out, but there's not much of a punishment there. There's not much of a bad side of it. It just doesn't work out, or whatever, I'll do something else. And yeah, it seems a little bit like, everything works, everything he tries works, everything works out great for him. So yeah, that might be a little bit of a negative side if you hate that kind of stuff. I noticed it myself, but I don't hate it because I enjoyed the book, the whole story, all the technology, all the stuff that he does to improve the society, and like learning about the society itself. All of that is super enjoyable and super well thought out and planned out. So I didn't mind it that much, but just the point that if you hate that kind of stuff, it's kind of like might bother you. Personal issues are not usually resolved, or some character or some part of the society might have like trouble, but then that's like, I don't know, like somebody was beaten up. A woman was beaten up by her husband, but everything is resolved, and the legal system like says that, and then just he learns about how the society works, and we never hear about that type of stuff again. So like the bad sides of society are not always, maybe a little bit more, we get a little bit more of that in the second and third book, but in the first book we don't explore it that much. And interpersonal issues either, there's not too much of that. Usually it's all positive, there's no negative. And one thing I guess I thought was a missed opportunity in the first and even like the subsequent books is there's no real antagonist to Joseph, to the main character. So you don't have like anybody who is like trying to expose him, or anybody who doubts him, who thinks you might have some people who doubt him, but there's like nothing, we get nothing out of it. So there's no like characters that are like suspicious of him, or people who are suspicious of him turned out to finally love him, and they are suspicious but they're like, ah, he's a good guy, I don't I don't think he has any evil intentions and stuff like that. So we didn't get any conflict like that, which might have been kind of interesting, at least in the second book, if not in the first book. So yeah, that was I think might have been a little bit of a missed opportunity. You do still have like the overarching like antagonist, which is like the Narthan Empire, which is trying to conquer this island, but that's not addressed that much in this first book. There's not a lot of like conflict aside from one battle fight. This is like some criticisms of mine, which doesn't mean that I enjoyed this book thoroughly. Still, it is one of the most enjoyable books I've read in a long time. So it's a very wholesome experience. It's like you're learning, adapting, improving the world technologically. There's like a lot of details, stuff like that. So you should, if you're interested in a book that focuses on that kind of stuff and like surviving this world, improving this new world, it's definitely a book for you. As I said, the sequels, I'm going to mention a little bit about the sequels. Not going to talk too much about the sequels, but the sequels are a little bit different from this formula. We do get a little bit more character development, a little bit more personal drama, and a lot more war and politics. And even if you're not into that, it is done in a very interesting way, in a very fun way. It gets you, like, it keeps you interested. It keeps you want to know more. What kind of things is Joseph going to, like, introduce into Citadel, and what's going to happen. He's not like, he can't have like a magic weapon and destroy all the enemies. Like, he can't suddenly produce, like, I don't know, a bomber airplane or a machine gun or whatever. He can't make that. He can make very small gradual steps to improve them technologically, so it's not it's not like he's not OP. And that's what makes, like, the politics and strategy and war and all that stuff interesting in the subsequent books. That's it about the first book, and like a little bit about the sequel. So it was overall a really fun read. If you guys are interested, you can get it on Amazon. It's like, I think it's on Audible, if you want the audiobook, or on Kindle. I got Audible for the first book. I got Kindles for the second two books. Kindles are pretty cheap as well, so you can get them for like $4 or $5. It's like not that expensive. So yeah, that's it about this book. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening to what I have to say. Have a great day, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.